Hello, sweet, beautiful souls. Welcome back. I am very excited. We have a lot of things to cover, a lot of things to talk about for this upcoming summer solstice. So much has been coming through, and I was going to do a whole other episode, but there has been so much transpiring, so many changes, so many things to talk about. So we are going to dive into all of it today. So if you're new, hit the like and subscribe, and let's dive right in. Okay, so I haven't done an energy update for a while. And this actually feels a little bit better. Just doing like these quarterly or rather seasonal updates. The last one I did was for the spring equinox, and this one for the summer equinox feels so important. So important. I'm going to be sharing a channeled message, but also I want to just give you kind of like, think of this as a roadmap. Think of this as a energetic roadmap so that you can, I'm not telling you what's going to happen, but I am equipping you with like the vehicle so that you know what energies are at play here. Because there's a lot. And so let's just like, yes, let's get right into it. So first of all, if you have seen my stories on Instagram, yesterday, before we'll back up. No, we'll start with that. I've been seeing fives everywhere. 555, 555, 555, 555, like in abundance. Fives are all about change in numerology. So I saw 555. This is, some of you may think this is silly. I am always talking to my guides, universe, source, higher self on my walks and time outside. And that is how I always receive some type of communication. Is I speak, it's like we all have our language with the divine, and one of mine is numbers. So I could not tune in yesterday because I was so sleep deprived, because that's the other thing that I was going to bring up. The Schumann Resonance. So the Schumann resonance is the electromagnetic frequencies that the earth emits, if you're not familiar with it. And they have been seeing spikes like we have literally never experienced before. So much so that they're actually thinking that they are perhaps beginning to make some type of wave, like a love wave, or certain geometric shapes. So when the frequency of the earth is really high, that means that the earth is literally like the earth is a reflection of us, we're a reflection of the earth. So if the earth is experiencing this incredible heightened energy, I certainly am. I certainly am, and there are parts of you that most likely are as well. I know for myself, yesterday, like I was up at 4 a.m. I was writing and channeling and could not fall back asleep. Felt so off all day yesterday. And today, same thing. I woke up very early, but I was like, we're not playing that game anymore. So I went and like doused myself with lavender essential oil because I like needed sleep. But this is very common to have sleep disturbances when the Schumann resonance is spiking. So if you're experiencing like your sleep is off, your digestion is off, which we'll get into that a little bit as well. These are actually super common right now. Another thing is like, for myself, I'm very sensitive though. Like today, I even have, according to my aura ring, a heightened temperature, and I woke up like I was like sweating. I was like, what is happening? And I was like, oh, it must be like the thermostat must be showing like it must be really hot in here. And no, it was actually cooler than normal. So all this to say, like the earth is definitely, there's some definite things happening. So if you are experiencing like fatigue or heightened energy or suppressed energy, or like anything that just feels like out of the ordinary for you right now, it's probably just all of these cosmic energies. So I want to dive into all of the energies at play. So numerology, astrology, gene keys, and numerology, astrology, gene keys, and there's a card, a very important card pull from tarot. And then I'm going to read a channeled message. So I really love gene keys, if you don't know. And if you're not familiar with the gene keys, I highly recommend you go and get your free chart on their site, which will give you just like a little snippet, but then definitely like I could not speak more highly of diving into the book and learning this wisdom of yourself. But similar, it's based off of the I Ching and astrology and human design. So what's really fascinating is that every about 5 to 7 days, we as a collective are moving through a different gene key. So this week, the week of the summer solstice, we are in gene key 15. Now, this gene key is so beautiful because it is, so every gene key has a shadow, a gift, and a siddhi. And the siddhi is just, it's like the enlightened, the highest expression. So the shadow of the 15th gene key that we are in this week is dullness. So it uses the path of magnetism, which is the gift, to get to the siddhi of fluorescence. And fluorescence is, what a beautiful word, but it is the blooming, it is the blossoming, it is the most abundant state. And so what better word and what better energy to be carrying us through this summer solstice than this gene key? Like, truly, we are so supported in this time, this expansion, this calibration of really what the summer solstice is. Like, I don't have to dive into it. You guys know what the solstice is. Like, it's the longest day of light in the year. And so what does that mean energetically? Like, if we have the most abundance of sunlight this day, I would say that this is a beautiful invitation for you to, as we are, like I said, the earth, we are an expression of the earth. How can you see your inner light on this time and this day? How can you see your inner light? Because that is what she is inviting us to do. That's what she's inviting us to do in the longest day of the year, is to look at our own light. And so while the sunlight is a very yang energy of heightened energy, I also believe this is an invitation to also look inwards a bit. That's just what I'm feeling. And as we go through all of the other energies, you'll see why. Because it's also Cancer season. So we'll just go into if you're not familiar with the astrology, we're in Cancer season. Cancer is very introspective. It's a water sign. It's like the nurturing, loving mother the archetype is a crab. And you can think of the crab as like the hard exterior, but like the soft interior. So they can come across as like they don't care, but they care so deeply. They're very this astrological sign is very psychic, very, very tuned in. So when we're moving through a sign like this, that means that you can exhibit and amplify and tap into those energies. So how can you use this time? And if you can get into water, like this is a water sign. I mean, I'm always going to say like spending time in nature is a good idea. But especially right now for this time that we're in and like this solstice, I think that what better way to celebrate and calibrate than being in nature, listening to our higher self, listening to God, source, the universe. And self-care is also a really big part of Cancer. And also Cancer rules the stomach in astrology. So if you are noticing digestive issues, it's totally normal. And even if it doesn't feel normal, but just like taking extra care of your gut right now, like we all know our gut influences everything, our immune system, our mood. So like whatever you're feeling mentally, psychologically, like your gut is playing a role. So this just means I'm not going to tell you like what to eat or take or do because it's going to be so bio individual. But in the channeled message, they actually did bring through a little bit of how to take care of our body. So we'll get into that, but I would say just do the things that are nourishing to your gut right now. Like that allow you to feel clean and clear, but also grounded. And yeah, I just like I wouldn't think this would be like a great time to not eat well. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna say I don't think it would be right now is a maybe it never is, but like listen to what your body wants. Okay. Listen to what your body wants and just give maybe your gut some extra support right now. Um, I will say lymphatic drainage would be really great for everyone to do. So whether that is like just dry brushing, massage, like you can do self-massage for yourself, especially areas of lymph. So by your ears and temples, or not temples, your ears and throat, and then by the armpit and breast, and then down into, well, start with the cheeks, like underneath your eyes, go to your throat, and then to your breast armpit region. And then if you want to, like by the groin, there's also lymph too. But just like flushing that through, like you'll even feel, I always feel, especially like in my neck, I can feel if and when there's stagnation, and it might hurt a little bit, like it might be a little uncomfortable, but just like massage it through, and drink lots of water with minerals. If you don't have minerals, put salt, and that'll just really help keep things moving through the body. Okay. Oh, and then in numerology, I didn't say that. This week is the week of 7, which 7 is all about introspection, psychic senses, spiritual deepening, coming home to self, listening to your higher self. So very fitting for all of that. Oh, and so then you can't make this stuff up. This is so wild. So I drew a tarot card too, asking for the energy of the of the summer solstice. You guys ready for this? I drew the Queen of Cups is what we were given. The Queen of Cups is empathetic, receptive, sensitive, introspective, psychic, emotional, loving, dreamer, counselor, and mother. What a beautiful card to draw. It's very Cancer energy, very there's water, like this is really a time to come inwards, to embody the queen archetype. The queen is mature, sensitive, she's empathetic, soothing, and a kind listener. She helps others understand their own emotions. She's connected to her higher self. She's receptive to messages from her dreams. She pays close attention to her feelings and intuition, and she always listens to her heart. She's a loving mother. She gives much to others and may require solitude. Being near water restores and inspires her. She's artistic and visionary. That's another thing. Wow, have my dreams been quite wild lately? So I'd be so curious. I know I've had friends who are also having crazy dreams right now too. So don't be surprised if that's also happening. But what a beautiful card to support us in this energy. And it's like you can't make this stuff up. Like it's literally so in line with everything that all of the other cosmic energies. So now I'm going to read. I feel like this is the perfect way to really facilitate in all of these energies is this channeled message that I received today. And I wasn't planning to read this, but wow, it's so fitting and so in alignment with everything that's come through. So you all know my spiel if you've been around, and if you haven't, with all channeled information, but really with all information in general, just take what resonates, and whatever doesn't is totally fine. I always remind people that with, and it's so interesting because as I say this, like it's true for any information, but especially with channeled information, know that you draw it to you. So there's always that as well. And if you're not in my Telegram group, I'm not like sharing the link publicly because I want to make sure that only really people who are receptive and desiring of channeled messages, like I don't want any randos in that group. But if you do want to be in that group, I share a lot of channeled messages. Just reach out to me on Instagram and I will send you the link. But I shared this message in there, along with a lot of other messages. Like, wow, it will elevate your frequency to to read those messages. So okay, let's move into the message. I just invite you to take a deep breath. Just drop in wherever you are. Calibrating yourself to true essence, to your essence, to divine essence, means that you, your life, your body, and how you live in relationship to your life, body, and all things must now transition and change. This is the change that we have been guiding and speaking and showing up. To change your collective awareness of who you are, what you are, and the truth within you. Uprooting collective and societal beliefs of truth that are rooted in falsehood, and calibrating the beliefs, body, environment to a new frequency is what is in process. So allow the discomfort, the unease, the sensations that may appear to be unsettling as you move through these tectonic shifts in your planet. The earth is quite literally purging the fabrications of lies, impurities, and hidden agendas that have been planted and nested within her. As she purifies, you too are purifying. And so continue to purify the vessel, yet ground and support yourself during this transition. Cleanse the body, cleanse the beliefs, cleanse the air, cleanse the eyes, ears, nose, and features in which you perceive reality. And in doing so, You perceive anew. Ask for cleansing energetically, materially, and spiritually, and allow it to take place and for you to be led to the proper purification that you are needing. Stand tall in your ground. Do not be wavering in your beliefs, and yet be allowing and open and receptive for beliefs from your higher self. And to move forward with this calm confidence in a balanced and harmonious manner. This will serve you well. And so I just invite you to breathe that in. Wow, I just it's all very in alignment with everything else, right? Tuning to your divine essence, coming home. The earth, she's purging. She's releasing that which no longer serves her, and any lies and untruths, which we could also call falsities. Whatever is within her that isn't serving her. And when she does this, it's such an invitation, a beautiful invitation for us to do the same. And so, like they said, I also think, just doing it, okay, that was very fascinating. They said to cleanse the body, but also ground it. But what was very fascinating was to cleanse the senses, the eyes, ears, nose, and features in which you perceive reality. And in doing so, you will perceive anew. I never thought about cleansing my eyes. And yet it makes so much sense, because when we do this physically and energetically and spiritually, we truly allow ourselves to see anew, to smell anew, to hear anew, to sense anew. And so this is going to look different for everyone, but I invite you to ask your guidance, ask your higher self, what does this look like for me? What does this look like and feel like for me? And this may be all energetic for you. Like maybe you're just envisioning this cleansing taking place energetically. And maybe that's all you need to do. Maybe you are being asked to do some type of physical cleansing. And yet they also said, like, also make sure you're grounding. Like, I think sometimes it can get, when we go too far into cleansing, we can get ungrounded spiritually. And so grounding in all that we are moving through is also really important, but only you know that balance of how much purification and how much grounding you need. And so I always invite you to tune into what that looks like for you. And if you are needing more support with that, like reaching out to someone to work with you through it, whether it's myself or someone else, to help balance and calibrate the body on the physical, spiritual, and energetic levels. It's going to help you detoxify, to feel better, to just feel like your truest self, so that you may be a channel for divine essence, divine love, your divine guidance. I always invite you to receive these words, but also to bring them into what feels true for you. And we're really being asked to look at our beliefs, and yet it's this interesting place of holding strong in what we believe to be true, but also being open to higher guidance. So what this feels like for me is not being swayed by physical, and only allowing ourselves to be swayed by new beliefs of a higher resonance, without getting too into any conspiracies, I'll leave you with, with just that suggestion. Always tuning into higher frequencies and higher guidance. Because remember, when you lead with the heart, you have everything within you. And so I will leave you with that. Enjoy this beautiful time coming home to yourself. Purify, stay grounded, drink water. Spend time in water, spend time in nature. And with that, my loves, I am sending you all infinite love and light.